there is a spiritual vacuum. And when there is a spiritual vacuum, something comes in and fills it. And we are very unhappy with what has filled it.
No, no, no. I'm always in the middle. I can talk forever.
Me
You
too.
have to interrupt sometime.
This is another way where we're similar. And yet, thank God, there is something in me that when this ideology started popping up, filling up the spiritual vacuum, I was like, oh, whoa, that's not us. So what is it about it that's not us? How do you even know when something is wrong? I mean, we know, like deep down, we know.
It's completely okay to express these feelings. What is God? He gave us the minimal amount of evil tendencies so that we have the potential to grasp who he is. And when you ask yourself, how come I don't have the capacity to fully grasp what God is? Well, would you like to have that if that means turning up the dial of tea?
Oh, that's interesting. Shalom, Reli.
Shalom, Maytal.
It's really good to
Here
see
we
you.
are again.
Isn't
It's
it?
great
Isn't
to
it
see
fast? You too. You too. Isn't it fascinating how you get to know somebody and at first it's just kind of like, it's exciting and and then it becomes like a bigger part of your life. I just said to my husband yesterday, I said, I don't know what's going to come out of it, but I do know we're going to be friends for a long time. And I just added someone to my circles, and that's really cool because my very
Thank
close
you.
circle doesn't have that many people. And this is, I feel like you're going to be in my very close circle.
It's as if you're speaking what I have inside my mind. I don't have that many people in my inner close circle either. I have lots of acquaintances and
Yeah,
friends, and people really like, Baruch Hashem, they like being around us, my family and
I'm
I.
sure.
We do not have locks on the door. I
Oh,
don't even have a key to the door. It's always
wow.
open. As we speak, half the neighborhood is here.
Are you
But
serious? What?
but
That's what I miss about Israel. That's something is it's just you can't
we're all one big family. And you know what? We can begin from that. I always say to my children, because I teach them English and they have well, they have English and they have
you guys have a gift.
thank you and thank you. And they also have a lot of abilities on computer software and so on, so they can just pick up and go.
Yeah.
Yes. And I always tell them, never leave. Use your English to do good for your people from here.
Yeah.
Baruch Hashem, we have strong internet connection. Everything is fine. The world is your oyster, as they say.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But
But even
here,
if you're here, you have to keep doing good. And there is good to be done from here. It's
of course, there is. I'm
yeah.
just saying that being here means that everyone is a member of your family, even the Arab Israelis.
Yes.
They are a part of this project that is the Jewish state.
Oh my gosh.
So,
I saw something on TV yesterday. We have Israeli TV, and there was a guy, an Arab guy, I think Druze maybe. And
those,
yeah, and he a
they're
hero.
fantastic people, fantastic people.
He was killed, but I was crying. It was, it just shows you we're all one, it's
All
not
the time.
you look at that and I cry just as much as I cry for the Jews who got killed, it's
Terrible. It
yeah.
was it was horrible. And
Yeah.
Bezrat, one of them, we have sort of we knew him. He was in our home once, but we Bezrat Hashem will go and Nenachem. How do
Yeah.
you say Nenachem? Go visit with the family. How
I
do you say
am
that?
horrible at translating. The Nachem is
Condolences. We'll
there
give
you
our
go. There you go. I am not, I'm just one of those like the kids, I can speak both languages, but you ask me to translate and I don't have that thing in my brain. By the way,
his
parasha from our last episode, my sister called yesterday.
portion.
She said,
Portion.
there you go, Torah portion. She's like,
I went ahead and checked it also. We're very much alike, you and I. We share many attributes.
yeah.
Now, today's conversation will be about a situation where I'll paraphrase it and you'll correct me, okay?
Please, yeah.
Where an American Jew who is not a practicing Jew and also is a parent and married, has a household, would like to strengthen their ties with God, would like to accept more practices, more Judaism, more Yiddishkeit, as they say, and they're intimidated by the process when kids are involved and they are quite grown. They're 11, 14, 15 years old. What do you do? They're
Yep.
not they're not on board. They're not sharing the same sentiments. What do you do?
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
a good
That's, yeah.
description?
I mean, I would just start from something we touched upon in our last conversation, which is why. So what makes someone like me, like some of my friends, some of my family who I mean, it's quite a big part of my circle actually who are starting to feel this way. So what made us feel this way? And I'm not going to say I'm not going to recap the whole thing. We did talk about it in the last episode, but and everybody has their own journey. But a lot of us are starting to feel like this secular liberal concept that we've been fed is not working. Why is it not working? Because we're starting to see what that in the space, in this vacuum, there is a spiritual vacuum. And when there is a spiritual vacuum, something comes in and fills it. And we are very unhappy with what has filled it. We are, those of us who, I've never studied Talmud, I've never studied Gemara. I did grow up in Israel until age 13. So I studied the Bible, I speak fluent Hebrew, but not religious. And yet, thank God there is something in me that when this ideology started popping up, filling up the spiritual vacuum, I was like, oh, whoa, that's not us. And that's happening to a lot of my friends and family. They're seeing it and they're saying, wait, there's something about now, but it's really hard to define. It's all about definitions, right? So what is it about it that's not us? How do you even know when something is wrong? I mean, we know, like deep down, we know. My husband told me a few years ago when this whole thing started, I was like, well, but what is it? Define it for me so I can explain it to others. And we talked about it and talked about it. And at the end of the day, he was like, I don't know. I just know I can't live like that. I don't know what it is, so that's what it is. You get to a point of that I can't continue living with. But then what? So a lot of us are stuck and a lot of us are going in this direction of, okay, we need to go back to our roots, right? And for me personally, my personal journey, I have been doing a lot of research into and reading and all of that into the roots. But now we're stuck at this point of, okay, how do we bring it on to the kids who are teenagers by now? And
Yes.
that's where I came to you with this question. And yeah.
Okay, so we said, first of all, this is so exciting and so thrilling, and it is the core of the most problematic situation in society today
It
in
really
the
is.
Western.
Yes.
And first, I would like to say, last time we said when we concluded and we had this little after party, we said that next time we will devote this meeting to the will of God. We will say, you know what, God, maybe we don't have the right words. Maybe we don't completely understand everything. Please help us use this as your tool and guide us and our thoughts and our words. So whenever you dedicate your actions to God and you lower yourself as in, don't don't cancel yourself.
Uh-huh.
Don't cancel yourself out, but understand your position. Be God's servant.
Yes.
Okay, so this is the starting point, first of all, and we neither of us knows everything, and neither of us has a monopoly on the truth or the Torah or what is being a Jew. It's just a conversation, and God willing will help others make their own journey happier, wiser, and calmer.
Yes.
Okay,
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
thank you. So what you describe are two parts. One part is this whole woke, liberal, secular movement is just too much.
It
It's
is. Yeah.
just over the top. They went overboard, over the top, over everything.
Mhm.
They ask for too much. They
Yes. Yeah.
stretch, they stretch the truth. They stretch logic. They stretch science so much. Everything crumbles.
Yes.
And not just for Jews, for everyone.
No, no, not just for Jews at all. And I just want to say that when as we were going through it and are still going through it, I keep saying, what part do we have in this?
Yeah.
How did we let this in? Because it's important to take responsibility. You can't just say, oh my gosh, they did this to us. Well,
They did this as if we're passive.
yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. So no, we something went wrong. We made some sort of, uh,
Detour.
yeah, and no, not so good. Uh,
Okay. So what I think is personally, my personal journey here, I don't follow any specific rabbi, and my children don't go to any specific Jewish school. We homeschool. So I kind of thought I'm going to learn on my own. I listen to many, many different types of rabbis. This is why I love Rabbi Manis Friedman, and I'm not Chabad. I
yeah,
listened to many others. We had on our channel, my husband's channel, we had Rabbi Tovia Zinger. We had many others, Rabbi Sherki, to name a few. We had others, and we have others that were not on the channel, but that we listened to. All that to say, there is this fear of, well, if the truth isn't there, and if peace of mind isn't there, and if connection to God isn't there, who does have the answer?
yes,
Where is the key?
yes.
Like, who do I trust with my soul? Who do I trust
Right, 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 right.
with my
Exactly.
life?
Exactly.
It, for me, it was too much. So I decided to just take baby steps and learn and join a community of wonderful people.
Yeah.
And we don't have any rabbi leading this community either. We have
Oh,
secular people. We have Russians, which is a different type of
yeah, yeah,
secular.
yeah.
We have religions of different strokes and cults and sects and whatever you want to call them. So first of all,
How does that
it's
work though, if you don't have a rabbi? Sorry.
we love each other, and we love being Jews, and we love being Israelis, and we love living together.
Okay. But no, like, how do you go to temple? Sorry,
We
that's
go
the question.
we call, I'm sorry, it's raining. Baruch Hashem.
Oh, it's
This
like,
has been
oh,
very blessed with rain. Is it bothering you? Do you hear this? Do you hear the rain?
no, no, I can't hear it. No.
Wonderful. So it's frightening. First of all, I'll talk about our yeshuv
Okay.
later.
Okay.
It's okay. You're just happy together. You work things out. We have like three different minyanim. We have three different shuls,
Oh,
synagogues, temples, whatever you want to call them.
okay.
And 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 each one of them sometimes can vary in style and in approach. It's
Okay.
it's it,
Okay.
it varies, and it's beautiful, and we love it. Sometimes during the COVID, especially, there were individuals who had in their backyard, Baruch Hashem, in their gardens, they had minyanim. Baruch
Oh,
Hashem, Baruch Hashem. We had the privilege of having the Yom Kippur minyan in our garden. It
oh,
was one of the most beautiful days of our lives. It was beyond extraordinary. I don't even, I'm speechless. I can't
yeah,
even
yeah,
describe.
yeah.
It was too
Wow.
much. It was too much. And
Wow.
Baruch Hashem, it was so beautiful. Baruch Hashem.
Yeah.
I think I think that my grandparents, they all also Holocaust survivors like yours on my mother's side. And I think they are so happy. I can feel them. This is one of I can feel my grandparents who did not have a mezuzah.
Really?
They did not have a mezuzah. They did not practice anything that I know of bichavana, deliberately.
Did they before the Holocaust or never?
I don't really know. I don't
Okay.
really know, but they had well, I don't want to mention sins
Okay.
that they have. made because you get the point. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. No,
So
I get feeling your grandparents. And especially as we've been going through this, I've been thinking a lot
this
about my
war,
grandparents. Well, not even this war. No, this war for sure. But it's just everything just intensified with the war. But I'm talking about the last few years as we as a family were making decisions and like I said, seeing, oh, nope, that doesn't work for us. And where do you go? Where do you get the wisdom? Like I said, we're not practice. I mean, we are, traditional, but we're not like practicing, going to temple every week. And so
supposed to be 3 times a day.
yeah, yeah.
Every week is Christian, 3 times a day is Jewish.
Yeah, well, yeah, no, definitely not there. And but so where do you go? And I think a lot about my grandparents from both sides, and that's another story. But yes, I know exactly how you feel. It's
So I feel them smiling. I feel them happy when they renovated the mikveh here.
oh
They asked for donations, and Baruch Hashem, we gave, and they asked for the dedication.
yeah.
So I gave my grandmother's name, the Holocaust survivor,
Oh,
and her name begins with Aleph, the
okay.
first letter of the alphabet, Aleph alphabet, and she's the first. She's at the top of the list on this plaque,
Yeah.
the mikveh, and every time I go, it just gives me the chills. It's just so beautiful.
Oh.
I'm so certain that she's happy. Am
Well, I
Israel.
have to show you something. I have to show you something since you just mentioned the mikveh, which I have to say, up until a few weeks ago, in my mind, seemed again, it's there's a lot of preconceptions, I guess. And my
Yes.
sister, I told her I'll mention her in the next podcast, just gave me this book. Are you familiar with it?
No, it's all yours. It's Rivka Slonim. It's all the American Judaism.
Yeah. It's beautiful. And you read it,
Sure it is.
and it's different stories from different women throughout history who, and their story about the mikveh. And I read that, and all of a sudden, I got it, after years of thinking it's primitive, it's this, it's that. I was like, oh, and again, that feeling that I told you about last time, like feeling sad because, I'm not that young. But again, it's like, better late than never, right?
It
So,
is, and I want to tell you something. My process of well, I want to say likabel ol mitzvot. It's like each time I decided to take upon myself some other mitzvah, and when I went to my gynecologist when I was pregnant, when I wanted to be pregnant, and I talked to her about mikveh. This is in Israel. She's a Jew in Israel. She gave me this face. What? Obviously, she was not a practicing.
right.
What do you mean? It's dirty. Don't do
Yeah.
that. What are you, a
Yeah.
pagan? What are you, stupid? First of all, never went back to that lady again. It's a terrible thing to say to a person. This is my personal decision. How judgmental. It's one of those things, circle back a bit to that woke movement, liberal. They're not accepting.
Oh no, that was
They're
another
not.
things that
They're
were
not.
another.
They will not accept me or you. Never, never.
Yeah.
For so many reasons, but they're just
They'll accept everybody else.
they pretend.
Everything else except us.
No, not everything else. It's very specific. Very specific.
Yes.
Anything that is not traditional Western civilization.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what they're after.
Yeah.
They're after capitalism.
Yes.
They're after the nucleus family.
Yes.
They're after a wife being a wife and a husband being a husband and children being children. They hate that.
Yes.
They want children to be crippled and dependent upon the government. They want married couples battling against each other and very selfish.
Right.
They tell you that they know better than you do how to raise your children. It's just terrible. everything about it is just horrible. And well, so as we said, it it unravels and crumbles for everyone, not just for Jews.
No, no, it
Gladly,
definitely does. Yeah. And the
gladly.
people who buy into it, I guess, but good luck to them. But they're actually
Yeah, well,
a small portion of the population. It's just it
yes, but
seems like
thankfully, Baruch Hashem, God leads his world in a beautiful way.
yes,
They mostly don't have children, so that's that.
that's true. That is true.
The end.
Problem solved. Yes, yes, that is very true. Yeah.
Um, so um, what I want to say is that we are lucky that we are Jews, because when you try to wake up from this nightmare of wokeness, of liberalism, secular liberalism, if you're an American, you have Christianity to fall back on or to turn to.
Mhm.
And that that will not solve the problem that you have.
Not for me, no. Yeah.
It will not for the Christians either. We'll
I,
talk about
I
that.
don't know much about that, but yeah, not for
We'll
me.
talk about
Yeah.
that next time.
Yeah.
And the last time we talked, I said that I prophesized that Jordan Peterson will convert to Judaism. I just want to make it clear he does not have to convert to Judaism. He can just accept the one true God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and be a Ben Noach. Okay? You do not Judaism is not missionary. You do not have to become a Jew with everything that it entails. You
So
just
what
have
does
to
Ben
accept the one true
mean?
God.
That's
Ben Noach is also a different conversation that we can have. You can
okay.
look it up. Very fascinating. And the Rabbi Sherki is leading one of the prominent movements in Israel about this.
Well,
And it means there are 7 of the 10 commandments. Actually, no, it's not 7 of the 10 commandments. It's 7 commandments, most of which are included in the 10 commandments that you accept upon yourself, and then you become part of the destiny. You become part of the destiny of the nation of Israel.
okay.
Okay, something I'm paraphrasing. Okay, I'm not a
Yeah,
specialist.
okay.
It was just very interesting to me. And for example, accepting the one true God, they do not have to keep kosher. They are not allowed to keep Shabbat at all. They do have to have judges and courts to have a set of laws. They can't eat any sort of meat. They have to kill the animal in a certain way. I do not remember the details. They have to observe arayot. They cannot have intercourse with daughters and mother-in-laws and so on,
Right.
sisters and so on.
That's
So it's just 7 laws
okay.
that the common denominator of all these laws, these 7 laws of Noahides, they're called sons of Noah. The common denominator is they are all rational.
Okay. Okay.
So that you can come to your neighbor and say, listen, to your neighbor who is a Gentile, a goy. You can say to them, I'm sorry, this term Gentile goy is offensive. I've learned online. I didn't know that. So please tell me how to say it nicely, not non-Jew.
Yeah, I just say someone not Jewish.
Okay, non-Jew. I do
Yeah,
not mean that in a derogatory way
I know you
whatsoever.
don't.
So
Yeah.
I don't have the words. So they can come up to their neighbor and say, listen, it's just something that makes sense to me. And that's it. So that's easier than converting to Judaism, or what we are supposed to talk about today, and we're out of time.
Yeah.
How do you break the news to your family, to your neighbor? Listen, I've decided to become a practicing Jew. It's how do you say that? I've never said it's like my family had to ease into this. It's like, listen, the first time I came with the scarf on my head, it was like I don't even remember the very first time. It was like first it was with the ponytail outside, just a little bit, and then everything was covered. And well, was gradual. I don't know how.
So this is to your parents, to your family, right? Because
Yeah,
did your
I did not
boy
have
grow up?
children back then. I did not
Okay.
have children back then. It was when we decided to get married, and I said to my husband, listen, I was not religious, of course, as I said. And he was like fumbling his way through life.
Did
And
he grow up religious? I'm really curious.
he grew up, well, I don't, well, it's in Israel, there are very many varieties
Okay.
of being religious. It was one of those varieties, but he was different than his family, and
Okay.
he was very liberal, open-minded person. He picked me up, and I was not,
Yeah, yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah.
at university, he hit on me. So how religious was he?
Right, right.
You get the message. Anyway, so when we decided to get married, I said, listen, if you want, let's be secular. If you want, let's be religious. You have to decide.
You have to pick. Okay.
Whatever it is you're doing right now, I'm not buying into it. Do you believe that God is real and that he has a message for the Jewish people? Do you believe that this is the message, the Torah? Do you believe you should follow these rules? So do that.
Yeah.
Let's learn together. Let's start with why.
Which is,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
It's
Love
we
that
talked
book.
about this, right? You
Yeah.
have to start
Simon
with why.
Sinek, by the way, wrote it. Yeah. Yeah.
Why? Why do you believe these things? I think that it's a fantastic journey. It's an essential journey that every person has to go through if they want to complete their life cycle in a full way. What is life? Who is the creator of this earth?
Right.
You know, everyone understands that the world started from something or from nothing, rather from everyone understands that the world started from nothing.
Right.
This is quintessential to understanding God. This is exactly the point that the Rambam, Maimonides, wrestled with Aristotle. They wrestled with this notion. Is the world ancient? Was it always? Can you stretch the time of the line of time backwards all the way to infinity? Or is there some point in non-time
Right.
where time starts and matter starts?
Yeah.
And we are so blessed to be living in this time where we know time began at some non-point.
Yeah. No,
There was not
yeah.
always time. There was not always matter. These are concepts that if Maimonides and if Aristotle had these concepts, they would have zero questions about God. Like zero questions. They had it all figured out already. They only had qualms about this point, and now it's solved. So you have that, and you have the fact that liberalism, secularism has no answers. The answers are warped and don't make sense.
So
Christianity,
for sure, they don't make sense. But I want you to go just back to that because I think that's really, really important. When you said to your husband to be, I think you said
yes,
to him, you have to choose one, and those questions were really interesting. So you said, do you accept God? But even with that, how do you? To me, it's like, do you accept God? Well,
who is he?
who is he? What's the definition?
What am I supposed to accept? An
Right,
old,
right.
an
It's
old
a loaded
grandpa?
question.
Am I supposed to accept an old grandpa living in the clouds,
Right.
reaching out with his robe of violet velvet? What's it made of? I don't know. In
Because
the
I'll tell you what, for years
Sistine
I
Chapel.
never lost that touch, whatever that is. So I never at any point in my life said I don't believe in God. I would just say I don't know how to explain it, but I believe in God. Okay. But my husband, and this is not now, this is years ago, but he would say, he would get, somewhat upset with me and say, well, how do you explain a million and a half children, murdered,
Beautiful. I love this. I
right?
love this.
Yeah.
I love this topic.
Yeah.
Beautiful topic. Okay, so we are not God.
Exactly.
We
Yeah.
are not God. We ate from the etzadat, from the forbidden fruit. It's the fruit of knowledge. And we think that we can discern. I'm sure that we've talked about it previously, and I'm sure we'll talk about it each and every time because it's
Right.
the basis of everything.
It is the base of everything. Yeah.
Everything stems from this. Do you think that you know what is good and what is evil? Do you think you know what is good and what is bad? You can know by learning God's teachings, but you can't come to these conclusions yourself. Who gave these little babies lives? What is life?
Right. Okay. So I know where you're going with this, but I have to say, just because I've been on the other side, and it's kind of sounds like you're saying, you know, murdering 1.5 million children. Well, who is to say that that's evil? No, that's evil. Period.
It is evil. Of
Yeah.
course it is evil. Of course it is. But the people who do that believe it's good. Why? We have two questions. Okay. One, why, how can God allow this to happen? And the other question is, how come human beings have this desire to do this?
Right. Why
So,
did God give us this desire? That's where you're going with that? Something like that? Okay.
okay.
Yeah. Oh, not
As
us, but you know what I mean. Okay. Yeah.
as you said last time, as Jordan Peterson taught us, each and every one of us has a Nazi
Yes.
inside of their
Yeah.
soul.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's us. If you think that when you see something horrific happening, it's them, it's not them, it's you.
Yep. No,
It's
totally.
human
Yeah.
nature. It's
Yeah.
human nature.
Yes.
The fact that God, in his compassion, in his faith in human beings, gave us freedom of choice. It's very limited, mind you. We'll talk about that at
Yes.
some other
Yeah.
time. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
very limited.
Very
It,
limited.
it's a very, very limited choice. But we do have that small freedom. And that small freedom teaches us so much about how God is wonderful and kind and compassionate and believes in us, unlike the God that Christianity made up, who is cruel. But we'll talk about that some other time.
Okay.
He believes in us. He believes that we can overcome these natures. And think about it. He could have had it much worse. He gave us the minimal amount of evil tendencies so that we have the potential to grasp who he is.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I've never heard it explained that way. Okay.
In order to grasp who God is, what are his attributes? You, as a human being, must have many unsettling thoughts, desires. It is what it is. Why? Because we are made of matter, and this is how it works. Why? I do not know.
Right.
This is how God created the world. But you have to understand two things. What you deem horrible, unthinkable, it's nothing. It's nothing. There's lots more where that came from. It could have been a lot worse. And when you ask yourself, how come I don't have the capacity to fully grasp what God is? Well, would you like to have that if that means turning up the dial of
Mhm.
see,
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Okay.
when you're super, super smart? Like my husband wrote a book, I helped wrote a book about the unpleasant truth about intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
Intelligence has no correlation, zero correlation with kindness,
Yes,
with
yeah, I agree with
morality,
that. Yeah.
none whatsoever.
Yeah.
But you have to have a certain amount of intelligence, a certain degree of intelligence to grasp what God is.
Yes.
Maimonides talks about it a lot.
He does.
Actually, actually, the Guide for the Perplexed makes this distinction that this book is meant for 1 in 10,000. Echad milevava. It's
Wow.
not made for everyone, not even for 1%. It's a 0.001% of the
Right.
population can even begin to grasp the
Right.
notions in this book.
0001. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
0001. Okay, thank you. So Yeah, I'm very excited. And I'm a girl. Uh, Unpleasant, but true.
Yeah.
Yes. So anyway, yes, it's the thing is we're made of matter. Matter means that we have needs. Needs means that we might trample upon others in order to acquire those, to satisfy those needs.
Right.
And intelligence allows us to grasp the essence of God, to what extent we are capable of. And intelligence also allows us cruelty,
Yes.
what you want to do.
Yeah. No, that's
And with all that, compassionate, kind God gave us two things. He gave us the possibility to repent, tshuva. He
yeah.
created tshuva before he created the world, and now you start to understand why.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
He knew if he's going to build this world, and one of the we don't know why God created the world, okay? But many ages of sages, rhymes, many ages of sages have thought about this, and they came to a few conclusions that might be possible. And one of them was very prevalent in Judaism, is that God created this world to let it be known that he is.
Okay. Okay.
So everything you see in this world, you have to look through these glasses. If you accept this hypothesis, and it has not been unproven so far thus far, when accepting this hypothesis, when entertaining this hypothesis in your mind, you look through these glasses and you think, okay, everything I see here must contribute to the outcome of everyone understanding who God is. Now, our
Okay.
soul, our
Yeah.
souls are always here. People are killed, people are lost, but the souls remain. And when I tell you that I feel my grandparents, it is very much real. They are here. They are a part of this world, and I have a connection to them. I have a connection to God. It is real.
Yes. Yeah.
Israel, 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 Israel. Wow.
Ooh.
Anyway, so
I
don't.
love the tell me what you think of this. Is that okay? Were you in the middle?
No. I'm always in the middle. I can talk forever.
Me
You
too.
have to interrupt sometimes.
This is another way where we're similar. Um, I love the explanation of in a way, and again, this is not like like a definition that takes over. It doesn't encompass everything. But what I'm about to say. But I love looking at God as our parent and
Hmm.
thinking as a parent for my own children, what if I could get a child that's perfect? Right? Like, I have this 3-year-old child who's basically like a robot, right? They're perfect. We all know we have like many issues with our kids and raising them, and there's always conflict and this and that. You do
Not
the
me.
no,
Not me.
no, you're
I do
perfect.
not have. No, I don't have any issues with them.
So, but what if you could get this child who was like perfect, a robot? I mean, these days we're getting close with this genetic engineering, although I don't believe it's going to go there. But
What is that? What is that? What?
yeah, no. But let's just say that we could do that. None of us would want that, because what we love about our children is their imperfections, right? And their free will, their interaction with us. And trust me, I have an 18, almost 19-year-old, I mean, who's becoming very, very independent. He's becoming his own man. And it's hard because I want to control every aspect of his life, but I can't and I shouldn't. That would be the wrong thing to do. And I love him because he just helps me discover the world. And I mean, there's something, it's this free will that we love about other people, even though it drives us nuts. So I like that, to see God as, why did he give us free will? There's something about that. Does that make sense?
You're almost there.
Okay, I'll take it.
It's not so much the imperfections and the free will as it is the growth.
Okay.
You love seeing life evolve.
Okay.
You love seeing how your child has these imperfections and they overcome these
Yes.
imperfections and they build upon them and they masquerade and they find alternatives. You love seeing their creativity and how they interact with others, how with you, you see that they behave in a certain way, and then with the external world, they have other manifestations of themselves reserved for the outer world. And you see that wisdom, that understanding, that growth, that life, that force of life, that's what you love.
Yes. Yeah. And there's something divine about all of us. And that creativity, you talk about creativity. I believe there's something divine about creativity.
It
That's
is. There is
right. Yeah.
there. Okay, Judaism is very different from Christianity. We believe that matter and the spiritual and the physical are one and the same. It's like what Einstein said, right? MCW squared,
E equals MC,
M
right? Yeah.
E שווה MC בריבוע, אלוהים שיעזור.
Yeah. Okay.
E equals MC squared. Okay, so matter and energy. What is energy? I've studied physics at university, and no one can really define energy.
Nobody
As
knows. Yeah. Yeah.
far as I know, for 20 years ago, maybe now they do. I don't think so, because then
Right.
my husband would have a podcast about that if they did. So matter and energy are combined. Matter and time are interconnected somehow, right?
Yes.
That
Yes.
matter
Yes.
time continuum. So time, matter, energy, spirituality, everything is the same because there is only one God and everything is a part of Him.
Yes. Yeah.
We are connected in many more points, more connection points than myself and others, maybe, because we are Jews, we are one of the same family. We are women, we have more points of more points of connection. In Christianity, it's split it.
Really,
It's
1 second. I ran out
okay.
of power. 1 second.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'll talk to your future self.
Talk to the future. Yeah, talk to my future self.
שלום מיטל שעורכת את זה. ואם מיטל שכחה לערוך את זה החוצה, ואתם רואים את זה עכשיו, if מיטל left this part in and did not edit it out, don't let us know. Keep it that way. Keep it a secret from us. Leave it in. I love this part. I love these imperfections. See, because you don't like imperfections. You like seeing something that is real. You like truth.
Yes.
We love truth
That's what
and
it is. It's authenticity, right? Oh,
authenticity.
here we go.
Okay,
Yeah.
so back to this.
Back
So,
to creativity. Yes.
yes. So God loves creativity. God loves life, and He loves for us to evolve and grow, and He would love for us to grow and evolve as Jews. And He understands how difficult it is.
Yes.
It is difficult, but it's beautiful. Accepting new things into your life and having a journey towards God and towards understanding who you are is beautiful. And sharing this with your children is a beautiful thing. You can sit down with them. It's going to take a while, maybe a few years, and you're going to let them know, listen, I have this journey, this personal spiritual journey.
Yes.
Love for you to be a part of it and join me. But even if you don't feel like it for any reason, I want you to know that it's important for me to share this with you, to listen to what you have to say. I want you to be, even if you're not with me on board, be my supervisor. I want to stay
Oh, I
me. I
like
want to
that.
be
Okay.
myself.
Okay.
I want to stay myself. I don't want to flip out. I don't want to become this extreme version of myself that I will not like. I like me.
Yeah.
I like myself. I like dancing to the music that I love, and I like my jokes, and I like everything about me. I like my hobbies. I like you. I like you, my child. And I trust you and your wisdom that I have bestowed upon you. Everything is thanks to me and my side of the family also.
For sure.
For sure. No, it's just humorous. I do not mean that.
Maybe.
Anyway, so um, I would love for you to join me and supervise, and I would like to talk to you. It's going to take a while, but I would like to hear from you also. Where are you in this world, in this emotional world? How do you feel about secular liberalism? Where does that meet you, your soul, your neshama, your psyche? Where are your thoughts about this? Let's do this together. I may not I may not have any answers, but here's how Jews are supposed to go about connecting with God. And this is some of the reasons why. And if you have any questions, if anything I'm saying here is unclear to you, maybe it's because I don't have it down myself either. Maybe I didn't get it thoroughly enough. So ask me questions. I want you to be a part of this.
So can I ask you some questions that I can just feel?
Yes, of course. Yes. I have
Yeah.
25 minutes
I have
left
25
on the clock.
minutes.
Yes.
Uh, so, okay, so you say this is the way the Jews are supposed to connect with God. Well, I don't believe in God.
Okay.
What if that comes back to you?
Okay. So as you
That's
said
all,
before,
silliness. And
it is,
I
you're
believe in
right.
science. And,
Yes, yes, yes,
where do
yes,
you
of
go from
course.
that?
Okay, so beautiful. So first of all, yes, I feel I feel that the concepts of God and religion are very pagan,
Yes.
sometimes
Yeah.
very
Certain
irrational,
interpretations are, yeah.
very childish, immature. Are you kidding me? Do you really believe in this creature? What? It's not a creature. It wasn't created. Do you really believe in this little creature that follows you around, knows everything about you, is supposed to navigate you through life? So did he know that I'm going to do this? How can he allow me to do this to you right now? You know, is going to do that also? Your magical little imaginary friend? I understand that. It's completely okay to express these feelings. What is God? We are too intelligent and rational as a species. We have evolved so much in our intellect. We can't accept. This is why I'm telling you that Jordan Peterson is going to become a Ben Noach or convert to Judaism. It just doesn't make sense. None of it. Like the whole concept of heaven and hell. Like what? What do you mean that your supernatural friend, imaginary supernatural friend, is going to send little innocent babies to infernal, to all eternity because they haven't accepted Jesus Christ because they live somewhere in I don't know where? Is that okay with you? Is that the kind of God you would like to dedicate your life to? What are you talking about? And yes, so yes, it is strange and it is irrational, and let's learn together. Would you like to? Because the world was created. Humanity has come to that conclusion, and time was created too. That's complicated.
That is
Would you like,
complicated. How would you, I don't know, do you
would
want
you
to go
like,
there? Yeah.
would you would say to that person who is
Yes.
speaking to you, maybe
Yeah.
it's your child, maybe not,
Yeah. Yeah.
what does that mean? That means that at some point, non-point in non-time, it all began. Beginning, this is the first word, by the way, of the Torah.
Right. Bereshit. Yes.
Bereshit is translated wrongly to English. It's translated in the beginning, which is
Right.
wrong. It's not the translation. Bereshit means in a start, in
Okay.
in let's say beginning, but it's not the right word. Translation
Okay.
is problematic. In a beginning.
Okay.
Bereshit, not Barishit, Bereshit. What does that mean? There were several beginnings, maybe?
Hmm. Okay. Okay.
Just one of
Interesting.
them? Is it one of the beginnings? Are there parallel beginnings? Do beginnings end? But that's the Torah. But if you just contemplate on that point, there was a beginning. Everyone scientifically inclined knows this. There was a beginning. What does that mean? Just stop and think about that.
Okay. Okay.
And gradually, because Baruch Hashem, our soul knows the truth. It cannot really speak to us in words, but when we arrive to a conclusion that is correct, it resonates with our soul and it makes us so happy
Yes.
and so content. And we're like, oh, it's like a breath of fresh air. When you've been holding your breath for so long, something is hiding there that is very important and very true.
Yes. And it's a different type of happiness. I just want to say there's different types of happiness. That one is a particular
Not
type of
selfish.
happiness.
It's not selfish.
Yes.
It's not materialistic. It's not driven from material needs. That's
Right.
why it's different.
Okay.
Usually we think of happiness as fulfillment of needs, and needs can be emotional,
Yes.
they can be physical, but when you're talking about spiritual needs, what are they even? What are your spiritual needs? And they are very much there.
To find
And when
out
you
the truth. Isn't it to
when
find
you
out the truth? Spiritual needs.
again,
To find out the truth.
I don't know. Spiritual needs are first and foremost, maybe are trying to connect with God.
To connect with God. Find yeah, I see it as the same thing. I don't know.
Maybe
Yeah.
because God is truth.
It's
So
truth, metziut, right? It's God is reality. So when you're trying to connect with God, you're trying to connect to the true reality. And we don't know what that true reality is. And you know
the
what?
true
Maybe to
the
come
true
back the whole loop,
the
maybe,
true cause of reality, the true cause of reality. God is not nature. Nature is not God. God is not reality.
right.
God is the cause of reality. Whatever you see in reality is caused by God. And you have to thank God that this is, and I'm talking about it after October 7th. And I'm saying everything they did, as we said before, they did in the name of God. So you have to be very careful with that. It's a dangerous concept.
It is a dangerous concept, yeah. And for
You
millennia.
have your kids to protect you, and you have your free will, your tiny little sliver of free will, and also you have the privilege of um, beginning from scratch. It's beautiful.
Yes,
You don't,
I've heard, yeah, I've
you're
heard.
not, you're not doing this because you're afraid of anything. You
Right.
don't owe anyone anything. You've come to these conclusions by your own thought and logic. It's beautiful. Let's start something new. Beautiful. Let's shed all the galut, all the idolatry from us, all the different ideas that stuck to our understanding of God and what is to be religious. Let's shed everything. Start from scratch. Beautiful. Yes. Beautiful opportunity. I love this. Let the kids join in. Let the kids navigate with us, let them guide us, let them help us make sure that we stay ourselves. Yes, beautiful. Let's
Yes.
do a part two. I feel like we have
Okay.
to do a part two.
I think so too. I think so too. I think, but it's good. I think we touched upon what we wanted to discuss, which is how do you approach your kid if you have come to a certain decision that you, in this case, believe that you need to get closer to Judaism, or you want to go on a journey discovering, how do you, and you have people in your life, you have kids, you have a spouse, how do you have them walk along this journey with you without forcing it on them, or even just being next to you and them not doing it, but just understanding and not losing your touch with them, not losing your relationship with them, right?
The answer is in your question. It's a journey. You
Okay.
do not lose touch with them. You take this as an opportunity to open everyone's hearts. Everyone, let's sit together. Let's talk. Let's make a family meeting appointment each and every week. I told you I like to do this at Motzei Shabbat, at the end of Shabbat,
Abdallah. Yeah.
after Avdallah. Let's do a weekly meeting dedicated to this. Where are each and every one of us in this journey in life? What are your thoughts about the world? Not specifically even about Judaism. Let's talk. Let's talk. I think life is too short. How about you? I think I think there must be a better way to live. I think there must be a better way to connect with my people, to be a part of this beautiful project that's called Am Yisrael. That's what I'm feeling. Help me out. Let me know what you think. As we're doing right now in this project, let us know what you think about this project.
Yeah,
Let
we're
us
on our
know.
own journey. Uh,
Yes.
yeah. No,
And
it,
we in part two, we can dig deeper into this and talk about practicality and everything. Yes, yes,
more of the step by step.
yes, because at the end of the day, it's my house, man. It's my household. Okay. Enough with a Mr. Nice Guy. Okay. This is I bought this house. Okay. Kids,
Yeah.
listen. I can decide to do here whatever I want to decide. Okay. I'm nice enough to be I'm considerate enough to take in your input. Beautiful. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna set the rules here. And God willing, you will soon, very soon, 15-year-old person, very soon will have a home of your own. And there you will have the opportunity to decide other things if you would like to. I'm on the again, it's not you're not I'm joking, of course, but half joking because you know you don't want to force them into anything. But listen, who hasn't? No one has been born in a free world. Even the woke people who uh raise their children non-binary and give them trucks and dolls and whatever and call them they and them and that. You think that's free? You have enforced your agendas.
Right.
You have raised
Right.
them so different than what is acceptable in 99% of the world. You have, and
Throughout
you've done,
history. Yeah. Yes.
and not only throughout history, throughout the world. This is not accepted
Right.
in the wide world. You are very ostracizing your child. You're warping him, them, they, them, the
Right.
whatever. You're warping
Yeah.
that thing that you're responsible of. So yeah, no one is born free. We're Every child is born into a certain situation, to a certain language, a certain community, a certain mother and father with certain guidelines always. So maybe those change, they're malleable, maybe they change over time. And you shouldn't do it abruptly, and you shouldn't just give orders and set rules arbitrarily. You talk, you think, but you think and talk as a leader, with
Mm-hmm.
a leader, and you believe it's a good thing for everyone. If you think it's good for your soul, then you must believe it's good for the kid's soul too.
Yeah, yeah. I want to talk maybe next time, but I want to talk about more about why do I believe? I mean, I know why, but I think we need to talk about that more, just more put it into words and articulate it into words. Why is it important for our souls? I think that's a question that people are struggling with. Again, because of a lot of misconceptions and a lot of judgmental thoughts and things that have been fed to us. But
But
I
I'll tell
think
you why. I'll tell you why in a nutshell, and we'll just end this because I really have to go pick up my kid. We see how beautiful the world is. Sure, there are terrible things happening. Okay, I know. Okay, I know. But the world is so sensationally beautiful. everything clicks together so miraculously. The sunshine and the raindrops and the velocity of the rain and the height of the clouds and how everything works so well together. And our DNA is so magnificent, and the gap between where we are and where the next most evolved animal is, that gap is so huge, so vast. There's
Right,
nothing in between.
right, right.
And the world was created at one singular non-point, non-time. All these thoughts run through our minds together, the beauty of the world, how everything is just beautiful and intelligent and must have been designed by something, must have been. And if that must have been so, then I'm part of this and I have this. I'm not an animal. I know I'm not. I'm not just an evolved, I'm something else. I know that for a fact. And no mumbo jumbo from the extreme left will ever disguise that. And men are not women.
Right.
I have a uniqueness to myself. I have a message to this world. I have a duty here. I feel like I have this role. I am important. You are important. You, the viewer, also have a role, specific role in this world, and you know it. And you can't shake that off.
That's good. That's good. I like that. I'm sure we'll come back to that many times, but
Yes, we will.
because that's, you know, that's the root of it all. I feel like that's the very beginning. There are unfortunately a lot of smart people these days who say that we are like an animal. I've heard that from
Not very
very smart
smart.
people.
Not very smart to think that. You
Looked
see,
looked upon in society as smart. I don't know how to say it, but yes.
no, they have high IQs. Yes.
Right, right,
But
exactly.
they are too afraid
Yes,
to take the truth, to take logic one step at a time. They're too afraid of what they'll discover because they know deep down. The fact that they try to warp everything means that they're scared.
that's fascinating. That's fascinating that you said that, because Jung said, you know, Jung said you'll discover the truth in the place that you're most scared, and I think that's true. I think that they have some trauma in them. They have whatever it is that's preventing them from discovering the truth, and it is when that is so fascinating. You just kind of, I personally, and I don't know if I'll ever feel comfortable talking about it, but I personally let go of something, of a fear, when I started going on this journey. So
It's
that's
an
very,
adventure.
it's
Letting
no,
go
but
of
it's very
fear
interesting,
means that you're an
letting go of the
adventure.
fear, discovering
Yes,
what you're scared
yes.
of and letting go of that.
And
Um,
especially when your surroundings might not look at this nicely. It's frightening. And when you overcome a fear and do something that you feel is beautiful, that's adventure.
yes, yes, absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Well, go pick up your son.
Yay! Thank you.
Okay.
I enjoy every second of this. It's beautiful. Thank you for
And I just want to say, this is a part of what is this creative force that we're talking about, because you know we had kind of a list of what we wanted to go through, and
we
you
did
know
not.
we did not
Did
go
not
through that
go
list,
through
but this is the, yeah, exactly.
part two. Part two.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Bye
Okay,
bye.
bye.
Next time.